What's going on, everybody? This is To Relaxation, and we're back again with another episode of the Relaxing Thoughts podcast. And I have another guest with us today. Introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Dodge.
And yeah, we going to just talk about some small things, I guess. Not really heavy, but maybe we make it work. Who knows? But
They last an hour.
I don't try to set a limit when I have guests, so who knows how long it'll be. I try to keep it under an hour when I do it myself, though, just for convenience. Yeah. I mean, I don't know everyone's podcast taste. I don't know about you. Like, I don't mind listening to podcasts that's like over an hour when it's just one person. But it can be taxing on your voice talking to yourself for an hour.
Yeah, it depends on the person, I gotta say.
Yeah. But we start this guest, of course. Like, what have you been up to in your life lately?
Yeah, I started a podcast of my own.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's called I found it on Reddit Short Stories podcast.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I started. I started that. I decided that, school starts next week. Gosh, man, freaking vacation's over already.
Yeah, my sucks.
So, what can I do? That
stuff.
Yeah, what can I do that will take up the time in between? More like, what can I do so that I can, get episodes ahead, get some laid down before classes start and when classes start. So I figured, why not? Especially since when it comes to reading short stories, I can't always find visual elements to go along with them like I can when I post it on my YouTube channel. So
yeah,
it might be better to just be able to read it and not have to worry about all of that research.
Yeah, when I started doing my podcast and like joining different groups, I noticed like some people do horror story podcasts, and I was like, I wonder, I guess, why that route? I guess like I don't know, maybe it has been going on for a while, but I'm new to podcasting myself. Like, I wonder what made you say I'll make a podcast on just reading stories instead of, like, I guess the traditional talk about stuff.
Well, it's a little bit of both. So when I'm reading short stories, those will be the shorter episodes. But if I'm able to nail down a interview with an author, then after I read the author's story, then I will speak to them for about 30 minutes to an hour.
About their story, or does it just branch off?
It branches off sometimes, but it's mostly about the story and their inspiration for the story.
Interesting. I mean, yeah, that is quite interesting to wonder why, like, if they're making that story themselves, like, I mean, for me, like, I know I used to listen to like creepypastas and stuff, and I like, how do you, I guess, come up with like the tone and the elements to make it feel like you could be engaged into the story?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I get those questions too.
Yeah, that's interesting.
When I post it on my YouTube channel, you'll get the questions and the comments, and when you read the story on Reddit, you'll get the questions and under their story in Reddit. So
yeah,
I try to check to see what people are actually wanting to know, so that I'll have more questions for the author.
Yeah.
And it's really cool people out there.
I bet there is. The world is vast. Um, have you like interviewed the people? Like, have you noticed like when you interview people, like they've been maybe more international or like closer?
About 4 interviews so far. One was in the UK, and everyone else was in America. Mhm.
Interesting. What made you decide? Because like I know you was already doing side stories on side stories. I know you're doing. I know you're doing like your short stories on YouTube, but I guess what made you want to put it into podcast format? Aside from interviewing, I guess.
Because I'm not sure.
You just thought it was a cool thing to do.
I guess I just figured, why not? I don't remember what the deciding factor was. I just figured, why not?
I feel you.
I enjoy reading short stories, but I don't know. I feel like once I can get all of that craziness, all the crazy visual additions to the short stories that I need to do with YouTube, once I get that out of the way, now I can just do what I want. I can just post. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It took too long. I'll still do them. It's gonna be, it won't be as often as I'll be able to do it on the podcast, but still.
I guess so. I guess maybe the design factor, I guess, was convenience. Like I can just do this audioly.
Yeah. Yeah. And trying to reach a different audience as well, because not everybody's on YouTube. Not everybody can watch YouTube at work or even have, you know what I mean? They're able to listen to podcasts, but not don't mess with YouTube.
Yeah, which sucks because there is a podcast that I follow, but because they're like strictly on YouTube, I can't listen to them all the time, just because like when I do listen to my podcast, I'm usually at work and just so much to navigate through all of that.
Right.
And then my battery, like I had to keep my phone on.
Are you able to listen to a podcast and have your phone off?
Not on YouTube unless I got the premium thing, which I am not. Because when I first started listening to podcasts, funny enough, not even podcasts, but like when I listened to podcasts or music, some of them would already be on YouTube, and this was like when I was in college, and this was not a feature. Like you can I can sit there and like when I wanted to like stream, I guess, a new album and like people just be posting the whole album on YouTube, like I could just put the album on and turn my phone off and I head home. No problem. Mm-hmm. And then it got to a point where it was like, oh, you can't turn your phone off like this unless you pay for this. I'm like, how y'all made this a feature? Like, yeah, I just want to monetize anything. That's why part of me don't want to support it, because it was like, I guess I seen it exists without you having to pay for it, and now it's like, yeah, it's like buying DLC for video games. It's like things that should have been in the game, but you're gonna make me pay for it.
They know what you need, man.
Yeah. So I just strictly listen to my podcast, hopefully when they are on audio platforms, and stick with that. Sometime I'll watch it on video, depending on like, I guess the subject matter, but I can't catch them all. Which sucks, because that one is one of the, I guess, I gain non-gaming information from, like, just more, I guess, quote unquote conscious stuff. So it sucks. But yeah, I felt like, I think that's when we did the gaming safe zone. That was one of the reasons too, like for convenience. Like I didn't really have I kind of still don't. I'm working towards it, but I didn't really have 100%. What's the word I'm looking for? Like an idea of where I want to take my YouTube channel, I guess. So like I did want to do like this podcast, but I was doing it in Q&A format on YouTube, and knowing that the way I did it was we would play video games and talk, because that's supposed to be like the whole gist of it. Like the point, well, I guess originally it was supposed to feel like couch gaming, and it just happened to be that you're talking with your buddy. Right. Yeah, but some people, like, I guess they didn't get the gist of it. Like, they would focus on the game too much instead of just focusing on the conversation. So they were like, "Oh crap, I died!" Like, dude, it's alright. It's alright.
Split your brain.
It's alright.
They couldn't do it.
We're not here to win the trophy. Just talk.
It seemed more like you were trying to get them into a game while talking to them so you could distract them and win.
That was not. No, it was supposed to feel like if you just like, because I have these moments a lot, like especially when I play with like my close people. Like we would have these deep conversations while gaming, and we would actually do amazing while doing it. Like when we don't focus on the game, we would actually do amazing. So I was expecting that it would be like that with everyone, but yeah, like the hard way that people actually sitting here focusing on trying to win instead of the conversation. I'm like, okay, so I'm going to just make this a strictly podcast format.
I'm telling you, who told you?
Me.
Dodge did. No. Don't even try it. Dodge did. Dodge said, people can't play games and answer deep questions while trying to stay alive.
I just wasn't expecting them to do that. Like I said, it had been done before I ever started recording things. Like, so the moment I decided to like press record, now it's like, let's focus on the game and not the conversation.
It's a different animal right there.
Yeah. Everything changes once that record button comes into play.
Yeah. Yes, it does. What other challenges have you had to deal with?
I wouldn't say much challenges, I guess less, because now it's like when we first, like I was saying, when we first did the Game and Save Zone, we did I guess episode 0, and that one was strictly on YouTube at first, and then we uploaded it together. But I had to like, background stuff, so finding gameplay and stuff that's long enough to match your thing. That means I gotta have like hours of me gaming to fulfill the whole time we're talking. It's like I don't have to worry about that. Like now it's just audio, so I can just keep it audio and just put like a nice picture on the thumbnail or whatever, and just you listen.
The biggest challenge you face?
No, I said it's not a challenge. I said for convenience. I don't want to say there's not really much of a challenge doing my podcast, honestly.
So you think you have this podcast thing down?
No, not the podcast thing. I say in terms of like the purpose of it, like the only challenge I guess would be my guests, like making sure I can get them when I can. Because like the way I try to do my podcast, even though I haven't like completely advertised it yet, because I feel like I'm not 100% confident in it, but I'm trying to do like every Wednesday or every other Wednesday. But the reason why I try to make my solo episode shorter so that I can hopefully probably do every Wednesday. And yeah, so it's like trying to get people in time for me to do that Wednesday release, I guess, is the challenge.
For me, I do two kinds of lengths of episodes. I do the shorter ones, I do the longer ones that are maybe an hour long, and then the shorter ones that are maybe 10 minutes, 5 minutes long. I mean, short stories, they're like 500 words, so it's not that long. But I didn't realize how convenient that could be for people, because some people just want something to hear on their way to work or on their way home, or, and other people need like distractions while at work, going to bed. Like they need something to...
Yeah, relaxation. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Wink, yeah. Yeah. it works out. Yeah, I always thought that anything longer than an hour, depending on the content, is just it can be too long.
It can. Like I said, I don't know. Like, I guess that's what my challenge would be, is finding, I guess, my audience, maybe. Like,
yeah,
because
right.
having a podcast that's just broad, it's like, how can someone want to listen to this? I guess, like, I talk about gaming one episode, I'll talk about anime the next episode, I'll talk about normal life stuff the next episode, or sometimes they all be jumbled up in one episode, and it's like, maybe someone don't want to hear the gaming part of the episode, but they like to hear the life part of the episode. So it's like, how do I like find someone, I guess, who wants to listen to the whole thing with no problem?
It's a blessing and a curse in a way.
Yeah. Like, because I know, like, usually with some podcasts, I know what I'm getting into. Like, there's I'll say like 4, maybe 3 podcasts that I would listen to. And 2 of them are like broad, like they talk about gaming and life stuff. And then the other one is like strictly gaming. The other one is strictly music media. The other one is like, it's music as well, but it gets into, like, I guess, the deep political stuff within the music and in the world. It just branches into 2 different things, but it kind of, I don't know, like, it works well because you know who the people are that's doing the podcast, so you expect that from them. And I guess that's what it is. I guess some people don't know me 100%. Like, people might only know me as just a gamer, instead of, like, people probably don't even know that I love anime a lot, or people don't know how much music means to me a lot, and it's just a lot. I guess I come with too much layers to me to express everything in the podcast. I don't know.
It almost seems as though with your channel, they have to be okay with just hearing your voice because there is no set topic.
Yeah, like, I would try to, like, put in the title or the description of what it is we're talking about, but yeah, that's hopefully they read it before they get into it, I guess. Like I said, for some podcasts I know what I'm getting into, so I don't have to read the description. I just like, all right, I already know what happens in this podcast, so we're probably gonna get some gaming stuff, and then we're gonna get some life stuff, so I know what I'm looking forward to. And then the titles sometimes kind of help. It's like, yeah, like I can title this one about us talking about podcasting, and then someone turns it on and hear us talking about cyberpunk in the beginning. It's like, what? So I guess that's the thing.
Are you trying to do a shotgun approach to it?
What you mean?
Meaning you're trying to throw everything into one episode, or?
Not everything, only things that I guess if it, I don't want to say interests me at the time, but like, if I have something to talk about, I guess, for certain topics at the time, I'll try to put them together. Like, I do have a music episode planned. I don't think I'm going to include anything gaming in it, so, because there's nothing really for me to talk about in the gaming world right now. So hopefully it'll just be strictly music, and maybe a life. It might go into life, because music and my life is hand in hand, because music kept me going. So yeah, there's probably gonna be a music and life segment in that whole podcast. I don't plan on like, hey, yeah, and then I was watching this anime.
Just see how it goes.
Yeah, like, I don't want to talk about too much, like, yeah, and then on news, the people stormed the Capitol, and then I was playing Apex, and then I watched this movie. I don't want to.
God.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like I'm just jumping all over the place. Like, I want to make it feel like the topics kind of blend, I guess. Like, if the gaming and life stuff can match, or the gaming and anime stuff can match, then I'll try to make it flow well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Understood. Is there still something that you're trying to perfect while trying to build your podcast?
I think I want to focus on not so much the podcast, but I guess on me, like being more open. Like, I want to eventually branch off, I guess, into my guests, and I want to add more into my podcast. Like, I want it to be more interactive, I guess. Or like, I wouldn't mind people like wanting to know, like, I don't know, I don't want to be like a guru or whatever, but like maybe there's something someone heard in one episode and maybe they want me to clarify what I meant in the next episode. So maybe I have like a Q&A section. But yeah, like I want to like maybe interact with people more and such. But in terms of perfect, I mean, I guess the only thing I want to perfect more is just, I guess, how to market the podcast so that people would be more willing to listen to it.
Yeah, that's a tough one for me too.
Yeah, I think marketing and promoting has always been like, I guess, my thing, because I never been the social media guy or whatever growing up. Was just like, yeah, it's like I do things that require you to know one other thing, and it's like, I guess to cancel it out, like me and social media is like, I don't go there to like just be all over it, but the things I do kind of need it so people can find out. So it's like, yeah,
I feel so cheesy. Like it's a weird feeling that I have when I'm just like, hey, I have a podcast, and just not fearing that, you know, that pregnant pause or that eye roll or that.
Yeah, like this guy that's like on the corner trying to shop me his mixtape.
Yeah, we all know that guy.
Yeah.
That's the guy we crossed the street off.
Yeah, his name's wrong. I'm sorry. But even with that, like when I was promoting my music, it was like, hey, I got this project, and then that'll be it. Like I don't make it my goal to annoy you with what I'm doing, I guess, because I want to. But I know for some cases that you kind of have to be annoying.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I don't know, if I came across you the first time, that should be enough.
You'd like to think that, you know, it's a squeaky wheel.
Like, yeah, guys, I got music, listen to it. And then if you happen to see, because I know, I guess, algorithms, some people don't even see the post. Mm-hmm. And that's where it's like, should I keep spamming this? I don't know. Nobody don't say nothing with my things, so it's hard for me to know who got what. I just go off for the plays and listens. Yeah.
I could never be a telemarketer or a salesperson. I couldn't do it.
It's just not my thing. Like I have like a great foundation of like when I want to do things, of how it works, but it's just a matter of like, all right, now how do I get people interested in this? And that's yeah.
You've interviewed quite a few people.
I mean, I wouldn't say interview. Like I don't want this to feel like, I guess, an interview thing. Like I just want it to feel like I just wanted, like, I guess, to branch off my Q&A version. Like, I want to feel like we're just two people talking, and where things go from there just goes. Like, I'll try to set the topic. I guess it'll sound interviewy, but wherever it goes from there, it just sounds like maybe just, like just a regular call or whatever the situation is. If I end up doing a podcast with someone in front of me, yeah.
Are there any guests that stand out to you?
Why? That I have already done. I wouldn't say stand out. I feel like, cause I don't want to make it feel like it's a one-off thing. Like, I do plan on like having people appear again, and I also want to try having multiple people appear at the same time to see like if I bring up a topic, how one person sees it and how the next person sees it. Like, I want I guess to share different personalities with the world. I guess like not everyone probably view things the same way as you, and like, yeah,
Hopefully not.
yeah, it's like just because one person like this, then my other guests were like, well, to be honest, like I think this is that. Like my last guest, Jake, we didn't go as deep as we did, but we used to have like countless conversations about this, like off like record, about the Sonic thing. He cherishes the 2D Sonic more so because like he came up with that era too, but I don't know, he just like he feels like it's just way better as a game compared to the 3D Sonic, and I completely disagree with that. But yeah. But yeah, so like I want it to be like there's people out there who's just not like, I don't want it to feel like I'm just bringing people that just like me on the podcast. Like I want it to feel like there's other people who has their own views.
Yes, that's way more interesting.
Yeah. I have an idea for a guest, but like I said, the problem is finding the time to do it, and my upload window. It's like, no, it's funny because like you would think from the time I record and the time I upload and then the time I have to do the next one, it feels like I have enough time to do it, but that time kind of creeps up on you quickly. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta do a podcast. and it's like, you gotta hope your guest is still good for it if you have a guest episode. So like, yeah, that's why I'm not 100% confident about my schedule. Like, that's why I guess I want to like do the shorter one, so it's like just in case if I don't have someone, I know I can like do this solo episode just to have something out.
Right, so you're not missing a week.
Yeah, which I actually missed last week. But that was because I wasn't present to do it. But
mentally or physically?
Physically.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah.
No shade. I'm sure I'm gonna have those weeks.
Yeah.
We're just gonna madness. Time management will forever be my issue. I was raised in a family that never had a clock that was on time. It's ingrained in my DNA.
Oh my god.
And time is more of a feeling for me. It's
time is an illusion.
an illusion, which is horrible. Anyway, so classes are gonna start. I've never taken 2 university classes at the same time. Last semester, I had a community college class and a university class just to, try to baby step my way into having to go through some kind of balls to the wall, stupid reading, essay, crazy homework schedule.
Yeah.
And now I have to try to split my life into like these 5 different things I love. I love doing gameplays. I love doing the podcast thing. I love doing short stories, and I love doing arts and crafts. And I can't, I don't know what the right fraction is for this mess.
Yeah, I think the thing is that maybe you shouldn't look at all those things as something you need to do, I guess, for content, maybe, or whatever the case. Like, I think it's always necessary to always do your hobbies to as a mental break. Like, all right, I'm doing too much work. Let me go play a game, and it just so happened that you just press record. But yeah, I think trying to make it. That's why I said like when it comes to like when the time like oh crap, I gotta get this podcast, but it's like like I'm not a big podcaster. I don't have no people that are demanding my podcast. I shouldn't have to make it feel like it's a job. Like, but I enjoy doing it, so I feel like I want to like be consistent with it, or who's gonna take me serious? I don't know.
I've heard a lot of requests for podcasts that have been on for a long time.
Like what?
Like people requesting it because I'm sure they've been through or they've started listening to a lot of podcasts that started but just died off. So they'd want a podcast that has staying power.
Yeah, just I don't know, don't burn yourself out on, I guess at the end of the day, like these should be your hobby first before it becomes a business thing, I guess.
That's with me doing 1 episode a week.
Yeah. My thing with, I guess, quote unquote time management is just like I always have like something I want to do, but I just end up sitting there like, I can do it a little later. Let me just do this instead for a little bit. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. That's why I get caught up, bro. I'll just do this for a little bit before you know it, it's 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Completely put it on hold. One thing I do, I guess, a goal. I don't know if it's a goal, but one thing I do want to like make this. I want to make this, I guess, quote unquote, more personal podcast. I don't want it to always feel like it's just about the gaming and stuff. Like I want to like talk about like there's things that I talk about with people that's like I feel like podcast worthy, like just like deep things and deep thoughts that you have, like those 2 a.m. deep thoughts. Like how cool would it be if we like actually talked about this in the podcast, and like how many people would relate to these things? Like what do y'all think about when it comes to like those deep moments and stuff, and how do you like come to a conclusion with that thought, I guess. So right now there's 2 people I can only think of though that I can do that with. One of them actually was already a guest, so maybe I'll bring them back again and see where that goes. But then this person that still haven't been a guest that I would like to have be a guest. So, but yeah, I don't want it to always just feel like video games and stuff. Like I just wanted to really like I wanted to like live up to his name, like the thoughts, like the things that are really in your mind, like just let it all out, I guess, that kind of thing. I don't want it to feel like this I don't know, like a quote unquote journalist podcast. Like I'm not here to give you the news. I'm here to just share my thoughts with you in a relaxing tone, if possible.
Do I have a relaxing tone?
I mean, we're not shouting and going crazy, so yeah.
Excuse me.
I mean, that's not a bad thing. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, this episode's where I guess I got excited, but it's not my intention. It's just maybe it's just the guest I'm talking to.
What do you mean?
Like it just happened that we're just like excited about certain things and we just laugh a lot. Whatever. Like, yeah.
I have a guest that stands out to me.
Please share.
Oh, sure. Happy to. So all of my guests are beautiful snowflakes. I love all of you. Y'all are all amazing.
Is that you're like when people have like their fan base and they give them like a nickname or something? My snowflakes.
Yes. Yeah.
Welcome to the snowflakes club,
No.
fan club, whatever.
The Cadaver Crew.
The Cadaver.
No. All of them have their thing. You know, I have my first guest was like really cool because they, you know, they don't just write, they join like writing groups, and you know, they help to organize multiple writers and get them into one story to, you know, cohesively write one story.
Yeah.
I have another one who, you know, got their book published, and you know, and their book is really cool. You know, they're really, but they're still down to earth. I have one that was from the UK who, I mean, just talking to her, I felt like she was my sister. Like we were both on the same wavelength. It was really cool. But there was one that was 60 years old who had been writing for decades.
Ooh.
And there is so much knowledge, life knowledge, writing knowledge that you can get from someone like that.
Yeah.
But it broke my heart that when I quote unquote interviewed her, when I had her on as a guest, so much of the conversation cut out because of really bad reception.
Oh my Lord. That's terrible.
So that's one interview that's going to be the hardest to edit, because I have to try to cut around it to make it seem like one coherent conversation.
Yeah. That sucks.
Really sucks. The only good reception was outside. And I'm not going to ask a 60-year-old woman to sit outside for 2 hours. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
But I'll try to make it work, even if it's just 10 minutes.
Yeah. As long as something gets out, I guess. Don't force it. But it definitely sucks that you can't completely do the whole thing, I guess. But yeah, I mean, that's something too that like I want to work on, I guess. Like I said, when I want to branch off to different guests, like I don't know, like I don't know, it's hard to say, like I'm not a quote unquote social butterfly. Like I don't just, like I don't know, it depends on, like, you know, you could read the room, like, you know, you can just join in and just talk and everything works. But sometimes it feels like, oh, like this feels like an established group and I feel like I can't really wiggle my way in here. Like, yes. Yeah, that's what it is with me. Like, I know when it's like it's time for me to just say, hey guys, welcome to me and let me join your group. Sometimes, then there's other times it's just like, all right, I'm just gonna be a bystander here.
You just shimmy your way in.
Like there's definitely been times where like I just joined a chat group or whatever, and then people just gravitated towards me, and then there's other been times when I was like, I would try to talk and it just seemed like people just like talk around me. I'm like, okay, I guess don't worry, you guys made it clear that I shouldn't be here. Yeah. I'll just step back.
While you group people, like let us in.
Yeah, it's not even about let us in. It's just like, I don't know, just
that's a chance.
Yeah, make it feel more warming. Like I don't, but my thing is like I don't want to feel like I want to be humble, but I don't want to feel like you said, like, is there anything I want to master with the podcast? Like I don't, obviously I'm not no podcast master. I've only been doing this for a few months. Like there's people, like when I'm in these groups, like they ask advice and whatever. Sometimes I'll chime in with my point of view, but I'd be like, I don't want to feel like I know it though. Like I don't have anything I want to ask though, you know?
You don't even know what to ask.
Yeah, like I feel like I don't know, my direction so far feels solid. That I don't know, so like people be asking basic stuff like, hey guys, like I want to start my podcast, what's a good audio software I should use, what's a good mic? And I mean, my best answer is just go with it, I guess. Like I don't like like I don't know, like especially if you ever followed my music career, like my first mic was it was this tiny mic. I mean like the size of like a Zippo lighter. And the quality was terrible, but I sat there and made like a whole mixtape using it. And then I eventually went to a whole nother mic, and it's like, I don't know, I guess you should just go for it and just progress your equipment as time, like, I don't know, but I guess maybe you should find out if this is really for you. Like, there's no point in like investing in the whole podcast equipment and you only do it for a year. Yeah, like,
or a week.
Yeah. Like I've been, oh my god, I don't want to talk about it, but this is gonna be my 10th year rapping. And yeah, like going for, like, I guess it feels like it wasn't a waste going from a $50 mic to an $80 mic to the mic I have now. Like I went through 3 mics and it was worth it all. It's like I didn't like just say, all right, well, that was fun, I rapped, I'm gonna stop rapping now, and here I go, and I have a mic just sitting here.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know, but I want to feel like there's stuff I want to know, but I don't know what I want to know, I guess, yet. You know, like obviously the only thing I want to ask, but some people have already asked before, but I feel like it's kind of a given, like how do I market my podcast and stuff? And people just like, I don't know, usually the answers is just like, just promote it places. It's like, I don't know, it's a difference between promoting it and like getting you to click it, I guess. Like, yes. How do I, like, why should you be interested in listening to me?
Right.
And I don't know how to do that, I guess. Maybe that might be a question I might ask them. Like, how do I make you guys listen to my podcast? They just be like, dude, it's not about you. Relax. But yeah.
Usually you get the Twitter, Insta,
Facebook, pay for your ads, and like
pay for it.
I might eventually, I don't know, just I don't feel like, because my goal right now isn't to like, it's to establish people that's listening. Like, I'm not gonna like, hey guys, I'm podcasting, pay me. Like, it's
good, I swear. It's really good.
Like, I want people to actually like, I want to feel like there's a demand to listen to me. Like, I want to just be chilling someday and randomly get a message and say, hey guy, when is your next episode? Oh, okay. I didn't know it was like that. Yeah.
Are you ready for that?
I mean, I've been I don't want to sound like I'm angry at people, but like that's been my main issue ever since I've been rapping and everything I've been doing with my life. I never gotten like people that I guess demanded what I'm doing or just flat out just gave me feedback on things I'm doing. Like I said, I can only just go off the plays. Like, I have a song that's like approaching 1,000 plays, but 0 comments, and it's like, do y'all like it?
Right.
It's like, I understand y'all playing it, but is it because y'all like it, or just because somehow you ended up clicking it, or maybe the song just like, I have times like when I listen to songs like on SoundCloud and like it will just autoplay into something that's completely different, and I'm like, what is this? Like, I don't know. I don't think I'm in that algorithm, but like, if that's a possibility, like, is that how it happened? Like, I don't know.
Was it by accident?
Yeah.
Did you do this on purpose? Were you looking for me?
So going down from my YouTube career all the way down to my podcast, and like, I have not had anyone just quote unquote just like just flat out, I guess, demanded more from me. So I don't know how far I'm taking this, or if this is reaching people in a good way. So I mean, I won't say if I'm ready for it, but it's like it's been long overdue for me to get that. For me to know if I'm ready for it, or know if what I'm doing is the right thing.
That's something that'll take your hobby.
Yeah, that's when it becomes my hobby too. Like now I have to appease these people.
Jesus.
These people, these peasants, no stuff. But you know what I mean? You're the one who made it sound joking. You're the one who made it sound like that. I wasn't like, all right, let me just play off of you. I wasn't making it sound like that. But yeah.
Yeah, that takes the hobby to a next level.
Yeah. But I mean, that's like always the back of your mind goal, like to make your hobby into something more serious, into your life passion. So I enjoy making music, then somehow it blows up, and next thing, here you go, you hear me on the radio. Like, yeah, of course. I mean, it wasn't my goal, but if it happened to be that way, then I would say I have no problem now, but I feel like I'm at the point, like, I think that's one of my, I'm going completely off topic now. This is the music section.
Right, yeah.
Nah, but like, I feel like that's been my issue with like some of these rappers who just come out of nowhere and make it big and that stuff. Like, sometimes they don't really have like a backlog of like music they already done. Like, I have several projects done, and I feel like if somehow I was to blow up now and they're like, all right, it's time for you to work on your first album, and I'm just sitting here like, I felt like I rapped about everything in my life at this point. I don't know what to make. And like some of these rappers, like, they usually just get blow up with one song, but now they have like, oh yeah, I have a lot to talk about. I haven't not made a project yet. So I don't know. Like right now, if I wanted to work on the project, I have nothing to start off of right now.
Really? You not even your older work? You still don't have, anything that you would even improve on?
I mean, I would always love to like remaster my songs, I guess, because like I said, when I first started, like the audio quality was terrible, and even like how I used to rap, my flow was terrible. But I think that would remove the charm of what it was. Like, I don't know. Like, I used to cringe when I want to listen to my first mixtape, but now actually like, oh, this is actually pretty enjoyable. Like when you get past it, like some of the things I was saying, I was like, oh, that's nice. But yeah, like I think I should just let it sit with the time frame, I guess. Cause before it was like, it was more of the message I was trying to get across with my song, but now it's like the last one I did wasn't about mainly what I was saying. It was more about giving you guys a feeling. Like, this mixtape didn't really have 100% a theme, even though it did when you listen to it. But yeah, like most of them have, like, I have something to say, I guess, about them. This one was more about, I just want you to feel good listening to it.
I think whether you're just dabbling, if you're just dabbling, or if you're really like hardcore into something, just start.
Yeah,
just start.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike.
That's what.
Just do it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like when people like ask for like podcast advice before they start, and I'm like, you ain't even start yet. Like, just go ahead.
That's the hardest part. That's the hardest thing. like convincing yourself that you have something to say
Oh yeah.
that other people
Like I said,
would
I
want.
mentioned this before. Like I've been wanting to make my own podcast since I'll say 2016, and it took us 2020 for us to start our podcast. My first time,
Was
like
2020, was it?
yeah, it was last year.
I feel like it was 2019.
Nah, it was early 2020.
Oh, okay. Felt like years.
Yeah, a long time ago in our past life and stuff. But yeah,
But
the fact
you
that it
still
took
get
so
much
long.
out of it.
Yeah, but it's like the fact that it took so long, because I was like, oh, what do I talk about? Do I want it to be a solo podcast? Can I hold the podcast by myself? Should I get somebody?
Yes.
Who should I get it with? And then I gotta know if their schedule, can they consistently do one with me? It was a lot. So 4 years later, it was like we did ours, but then like once we stopped, it was like now I had to like, I guess I had my confirmation. I got my answer that all right, I can do it. So yeah, now it's just about what I'm gonna talk about, and then I eventually got to this, and now here I am.
Do you think that you still would have had the confidence to do a podcast if you hadn't started with YouTube first?
That's kind of tricky. When did I start YouTube? 2015, I think. So that was before I even wanted to do a podcast.
Yeah, before you even thought about it.
Yeah, and then that's only well, funny thing, because someone told me, cause like I said, I don't mean I'm quote unquote shy. Like I said, I don't throw myself out there, but like once you get to talk to me, like I am very expressive. And someone like, for a person who's like shy, you do a lot of things that kind of like negates that, like music, YouTube, now podcasting. Is like, yeah, how do I guess, I don't know, like how do I be two sides of a coin? Like, yeah, I like to be expressive and throw myself out there, but at the same time I don't like to be myself. Like, I don't want to throw myself out there. So it's just, I don't know, like I get, yeah, it's just fine. It's getting to the point of convincing myself that I should just do it has been for like everything I've been doing, I guess. Like eventually I had to tell myself, all right, I can rap. Like, of course I had to sit there and think about, because I was still in high school, like, oh, like what if people listen to this? Like, what are they gonna think? Like, people gonna like walk up to me and I'm like, yo, dude, that song was terrible. You should stop rapping. Oh no. And then same thing with YouTube. Like, I didn't know, like, oh my god, like you listen to whenever I first started doing my videos with commentaries, like I'm just sitting there mumbling stuff. I'm just like, yeah. So I don't know, it's tricky to like get myself into like doing something. Like I feel like I need to have a taste of it somehow. Like with music, obviously, I got into it. Well, I've been doing it, but like the first time, like when I got to record, I did it with a group of people. So it was like, I guess,
Right.
yeah, I felt more comfortable. Like, all right, these guys are doing it, and we're all in the same school. If they can do it, I can do it. And I like felt happy as hell writing my first rhymes ever. Like, yeah, this is it. This is the one. But like, it's funny, like the rhymes is great, but then I still have that song to this day. Like my first song ever. Like the rhymes is good, but of course I did not know how to rap. I did not know how to flow. I did not know how to project myself. So it just sounds terrible.
Baby steps.
Yeah. So it's like,
That's cool.
yeah, so like get into like, oh, there's these people making podcasts, and it's like, cause like when I originally found them, they were just YouTubers, and like they branched off to podcast. At first I dismissed it, because I was like, who wants to sit here for hours and listen to someone? I didn't get the market of it. But then I guess I ran out of things to listen to on my way home, because it's like it's kind of a long journey from college to my house. So like, all right, you know what? Let me try it because I support their content on YouTube. So I'm like, I might as well like, no, let me fully support them and their side adventures. And I'm like,
Side
oh,
hustle.
yeah. So like, oh, okay, it's 3 people talking about video games. Okay, I already love video games. I already know the first guy personality. All right, so now I gotta learn 2 more people personalities. I actually enjoyed all 3 of them. They had good chemistry. There's been times where I relate to them a lot, where it's like you just laugh in public and people just laughing at, like looking at you like,
like you crazy.
like yeah, like what are you just laughing about? Are you listening to music or talking to someone or what? I got my headphones on, but yeah. So they went to like, oh, okay, so this is what this is. And then it'll be like, I want to do this, but how do I do this? What do I do this about? Should I do this with someone? And yeah.
No regrets.
Nah, never. Regrets are for them. Stop.
It's great how you just get aggressive out of nowhere.
I mean, it's in my blood.
Is it?
I mean, I come from, I guess, a quote unquote competitive family. Like, growing up, at one point I was the youngest. Now, as family members start including into your, I guess, the mix, whether through marriage or just through whatever the situation is, then you end up becoming like more middle to now you're close to like the oldest. So growing up, I had to compete with people that was older than me all the time through like everything I do, whether playing sports, like, oh, I'm too young for this, well, I gotta make myself better. Video games, oh, like the big kids is playing this game, well, I gotta make myself better. To like, I was destroying them. Simple things when like learning how to swim, and you know you're with your father and your older brother and your older cousins, and like you don't know how to swim yet. Oh, let's tease them and throw them in the deep end. Well, now I gotta learn how to swim.
Or die. I don't know, learn how to pray.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but that was never an option. So it's like my goal was always to like try to best them. So the aggressiveness has always been there, like especially if you ever like see me playing video games, like yeah. Like the aggressiveness coming out once I was like, all right, I gotta hold it down. It's time for me to like activate the gaming mode and go off. But yeah,
Not me. I never think. Not really. I'm from a big family.
yeah.
So
Big in
I
terms
never-
of siblings.
yes.
All right.
Yeah. I never really felt that kind of competition against my family.
Yeah.
If there was any competition, then, it didn't last very long. It was really just like, hey, she's a straight A student. Maybe I can be a straight A student too. B's and C's. Forget it.
Yeah, I think that's also another thing too. Now that when you say that, like I do notice that my growing up time period, it was definitely male dominant. Like yeah, brothers and cousins, all mainly males. But then eventually over the time, females started entering, sisters and stuff. Yeah, but yeah, so I guess that was the thing, like the manliness in the house that was happening. And like
Or testosterone.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Quit flexing, bro. Quit flexing.
I mean, I was just a young and lad. I didn't know what that was. I just knew that if I wanted to like be in the room with these guys and share their hobbies with them, I had to like keep up somehow. That's all I thought in my head. Like, you know when it's always like, nah, you're too young for this. Go somewhere else. Play with your toys. Like, that's the worst thing you want to hear when you're a kid. Like, well, I want to hang out with you guys. Well, now it tells me to hit the training room. Become a freaking FPS master. And now, like, oh my lord.
No, I don't know what that's. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. I could empathize, but I don't know what that's like. It never happened to me.
Yeah. Well, are you like middle child or middle old or young?
Middle young. I'm 9 out of 12.
Lord.
Didn't feel like. Yeah, there was.
Oh yeah, having younger before you. Yeah, I guess that's could they look up to you now. So now I guess it feels like you don't have nothing to strive for. I guess you're setting the bar for them.
The low bar, bro. They better make it over. This is the easiest game of limbo that they have ever played. Or what is it? What is it when you run and jump over the
hurdles?
Hurdles. This is the easiest game of hurdles they have ever played. No, I don't think. I think I enjoyed being the weird one in my family. I was a weirdo.
I see. No, stop.
Shut up. And I was more into, arts, drama, writing, stuff like that. My family was more into sports and stuff.
I would say that's funny because, like, I grew up being an athlete, whatever. But I was never into, like, I could have never enjoyed watching it. Like, I know my brother and my father would sit there and watch, and of course, when I'm in the next room and you just say, yeah, I'm like, is it really that exciting? I could never, like, relate to how they can enjoy that so much.
So, how did you? I don't understand then.
My thing is, I am not to, I guess, brag about it, but I know my flaws and my strength. Like, I am naturally gifted at a lot of things I can do, or I can learn them real quickly. It's just once I know that I can do it, it's how it's going to keep me from, like, continuing to do it.
And that's how it's going to keep you from learning how to do it?
No, what is going to keep me from doing it? So, like, I can play basketball and stuff, but what's going to keep me going to the next level? Like, yes. I don't enjoy watching it. I don't enjoy studying it. I just know that I'm real good at it.
I understand.
Yeah, so that's why eventually I just said, I'm not going to do this no more.
I wanted to be into computers and basketball and stuff like that, like my older family members, but they were just, like, so above and beyond. It felt more like you're not going to be able to get to this level, so just do your own thing. Just stay over there.
Yeah, I think I've been fascinated by computers since I was young. Like, everything about them, like, of course, dealing with dial-up at the time. Mm-hmm. Like, knowing how to, like, set that up, like, knowing that you had to, like, plug this wire in and disconnect that wire just so you can go on the computer. It's like, jeez, like that. Just I would sit on the computer just browsing, like, a bunch of different, like, tabs, like, when you go into your start tab, like the documents, the photos, the pictures, the games, like, just looking at all the stuff in the computer. Then getting to the point when I browse online and stuff. And then I mentioned this, my guest before the last, his older brother he went to school for computers and stuff, and he learned how to build his own. And that was the first time I ever heard of the idea of someone building their own computer. Like the concept of me that like boggled my mind. Like I would think computers would be made in factories and by machines. Like here's this dude, like I know this guy, he sat here and made like, and I seen like the things he can do with his computer. I'm like, this is some next level stuff. Right. So like ever since then I kind of made it my internal goal, like one day I'm going to build my computer. And then as time went on, it just got common that people build their own gaming PCs and stuff, and I was like, well, here we are, I build my own. Yeah, so like I don't know, I guess like computers, like learning about the computers always kept me interested, I guess, compared to like basketball.
To be a computer technician, I got sold on the commercials. I went to DeVry.
Oh my.
Yeah. There is no DeVry certificate on my wall. I was always interested in, the ohms, the internal stuff, all that mess, and all the stuff inside the computer and fixing it. And but the school was just, I mean, if you're going to DeVry and it's great, then it's great. But for me, my personal experience with it was that, the teachers that I they didn't have that much experience with teaching. Like one teacher was teaching us the programs, Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, all that. And she was just like, oh, you can do that? Hey guys, did you know you could do this? Like she was just,
she was learning at the same time.
She was learning with us. I was like, sit down.
Oh my god.
Sit down. And when it came to the electric stuff, soldering and all that mess inside the computer, there were people who had been doing this for years, and there were people who had no idea what this guy was talking about, the teacher was talking about. So all the people who had no idea, they were just like, I don't know what you're talking about. But the teacher wouldn't adjust, or they just couldn't adjust the lesson.
Yeah.
Just got left behind.
Funny you mentioned that, because I think that's something I'm about to end up learning soon. Because I want to get into another hobby that's computer related, and I think I need to learn how to solder. I took a home improvement class in high school, but I learned how to solder for like a little bit, and it's terrible when I learned it. So I don't know, it's a lot. Like I don't know, the idea of like it, I didn't understand how it worked. Like you freaking touch the metal and then it sticks. Sometimes it'll stick, and sometimes it'll attach. And I'm like, how do you control this? Like I want it to stick, not attach. Like get off. So I don't know. I gotta figure that out.
Well, that's 101.
I don't. Well, then he didn't 101 it properly.
He didn't 101 it properly.
Yeah, I still have what I made. I think I still have what I made that requires solder, and you could see like the solder's all over the place. There's probably like a blob of it somewhere. Yeah, it's like. Then I looked at some other people's stuff. Like it just seemed like like it seemed like how it's supposed to look.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, I'm like, geez, like this is so getting into that, and it's like I always watch like video game repairs and stuff, and like when they have to like solder the chips off and solder them back together, and I'm like,
that's cake, bro. You can get that. That's nothing.
I mean, my hands is not. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like my hands aren't loose, I guess. Like I can gently just put my hand somewhere and just like I don't know. Like that would be my problem when like with drawing too. Like I like drawing, but like I can't gently make my drawings, so I don't like. I always draw real hard, and that messes up when if I had to clean it up now, the freaking it's more there, I guess, instead of like if it's lightly there, I can remove it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how do you do shading and gradient and all that?
I just did what I could, man. And that's where I kind of like made the transition that I just enjoy doing digital art more.
Yeah, that's for the best.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of advice to give someone with non-limber hands.
Yeah. So that's my issue with like I don't want to like deal with messing it up my solder stuff. Like I want to see if I can do what it is I want to do, if I can do it without soldering, and then go into the next step if I have to.
Isn't that the question though? Are you committed enough to it to put in the work to have the limberness?
Yeah, well, currently right now I don't think I have I don't want to say the time, but I guess the space to practice it. So yeah. I need to figure that out.
I feel like it doesn't take that much space. But are you working in a storage container?
No, but I don't really have like I'm gonna have to move things away if I'm gonna have to make space. I don't feel like doing all of that. Like I don't have a set. Right. I don't have a set. All right, I'm gonna put this right here and start practicing.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Live your life, bro.
Yeah, I'm living it.
I don't know how you would be able to fix computers without being able to solder, though. I'm sure there's probably someone out there who knows.
Well, it depends what you need fixing. If it's like you really messed up your motherboard, I mean,
here's a new computer.
Yeah, it's like, is it worth soldering your stuff? Just get another motherboard, dude. No,
yeah, let me introduce you to the internet and Amazon.
Yeah.
I need to get rid of stuff too.
Yeah.
No lie.
It'd be like that.
Cleaning.
But the only reason why I want to learn it so is that I won't have to worry about buying. I guess buying things.
Okay.
Yeah.
No shade.
No.
Shade?
No, not at all. Someday. Just a thought.
It's a good profession.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. I'm trying to figure out. Like, I want to learn to do everything computer, like everything. Like, I already figured out how to build, I guess, but there's other things I want to learn. That's like not the main computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just assembling, but
yeah.
Yes. Understood.
We'll get there someday. We have time. Yes. Yeah, that's it. Is there anything? Well, there's two things I guess that's on your end. Any closing statements you'd like to give before we close this out?
I'm Dodge, and I am part of I founded on Reddit Short Stories podcast. If you like short scary stories, short sci-fi stories, and hearing about the author who wrote them, then yeah, you should take a look.
Where it's available? Where can people find this amazing podcast?
Right now, you know how it is on Anchor. It's on Anchor, and right now it's kind of limited. I think it's on Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Republic something. I don't know. Like all those really small ones.
Small ones that people don't pay attention to.
The ones that people probably don't pay attention to.
Yeah.
Me.
Check out her podcast. You guys have time if you're interested in that stuff. Also, I like to try to do a question of the day for each episode, but I like to swing it to my guests when they're available. So, something you like to leave the people with for the question of the day?
Question of the day. What have you done on your own that you are surprised that you can do?
Well, there you guys have it. Yeah. Well, that concludes today's episode of the X and Thoughts podcast. I've been your host, Digital Relaxation, and as always, if you guys are listening to this on Apple Podcasts, or even if you're not, if you can somehow possibly find your way on Apple Podcasts, I'll rate this 5 stars so it can grow for more listeners. And yeah, as always, appreciate anyone who listens to this and enjoy it. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Bye, guys.